Most people spend their entire lives believing they're simply not strong enough, that somewhere along the way they missed the lesson everyone else seemed to learn: how to speak up without shaking, how to want something without feeling selfish, how to take up space without apologizing for existing. But that's not what happened. What looked like weakness was actually something far more complex. It was the result of a mind that learned very early that survival meant shrinking, that safety was earned through silence, that love was conditional on how little you needed. And the truth is, you didn't choose this. You adapted to it. As a child, the nervous system doesn't have the luxury of understanding context. It only knows threat or safety. And when the people meant to provide safety became unpredictable, when anger filled rooms without warning, when affection was given and then withdrawn without explanation, the brain made a decision. It decided that the problem wasn't them, it was you. Psychologically, this is called internalization. The child's mind cannot afford to see the parent as unsafe, because the parent is survival itself. So instead, it flips the narrative. If they're angry, I must have done something wrong. If they're distant, I must not be worthy of closeness. If they're overwhelmed, I must become smaller. And you did. You became the quiet one, the easy one, the one who didn't ask for much. From a neurological standpoint, this wasn't weakness, it was brilliance. The brain was doing exactly what it was designed to do, which is to keep you alive. And in that environment, being emotionally invisible kept you safe. But here's what no one tells you. That adaptation doesn't just disappear when the environment changes. The body remembers. The nervous system holds the blueprint. And even decades later, even in rooms where you are safe, wanted, loved, your system still scans for danger, still braces for rejection, still waits for the other person to leave. So you learned not to need. You learned to give but never receive. You learned to hold everyone else's pain but never your own, because needing felt like weakness, and weakness, you were taught, was not allowed. This is how emotional weakness is born, not from fragility, but from a lifetime of being strong in the wrong direction. As an adult, this shows up everywhere. In relationships, you're the one who apologizes first, even when you weren't wrong. You're the one who over-explains, who softens your words, who texts back too quickly because silence feels like abandonment. You give and give and give, hoping that if you're valuable enough, useful enough, easy enough, they'll stay. But intimacy terrifies you, because intimacy requires being seen, and being seen means they might notice the parts of you that you were told were too much, the sadness, the need, the anger you've swallowed for years. So you keep people at arm's length, close enough to feel connected, far enough to stay safe. Trust becomes impossible, not because you don't want it, but because your nervous system doesn't believe it. Every kind word is scanned for hidden meaning. Every moment of peace feels temporary. You're waiting for the shift, the disappointment, the moment they realize you're not worth it. And the exhausting part is, you know this isn't logical. You know the person in front of you isn't the person who hurt you, but your body doesn't care about logic. It only cares about pattern recognition. And the pattern it learned was this: people leave, people hurt, people take. So you stay ready, hyper-vigilant, monitoring tone, reading facial expressions, adjusting yourself in real time to keep the peace. You become a student of other people's emotions while completely disconnecting from your own, because your emotions were never safe to feel. When you're raised in an environment where your feelings were dismissed, minimized, or punished, you learn to do the same to yourself. Sadness becomes overdramatic, anger becomes unacceptable, fear becomes irrational. You talk yourself out of everything you feel, the same way they once did. And this creates a split, a version of you that moves through the world competent and composed, and a version of you underneath still waiting to be held, still wanting permission to fall apart, still hoping someone will notice you're not okay without you having to say it. but no one does, because you've gotten so good at hiding. This is the hidden cost, the loneliness that comes from being surrounded by people who think they know you, but don't. The exhaustion of performing stability while your nervous system is screaming. The numbness that sets in when you've ignored yourself so long you don't even know what you want anymore. You were the strong one, the reliable one, the one who never needed anything. And it's killing you. Because strength, when it's built on the suppression of your own humanity, isn't strength at all. It's survival masquerading as personality. It's a child's coping mechanism that you've carried into adulthood, and now it doesn't fit anymore. You're not weak. You never were. You were a child who needed safety and didn't get it, so you built it yourself, out of silence and smallness and self-erasure. You became the person everyone could lean on because no one was there to hold you. And now, as an adult, you're so used to being the container that you've forgotten you're allowed to be contained. Healing from this doesn't mean becoming a different person. It means learning that safety is no longer something you have to construct alone. It means retraining a nervous system that believes rest is dangerous, that needing is weakness, that being seen is a risk you can't afford. It means practicing something your body has never known, receiving without earning, resting without justifying, asking without apologizing. And it will feel wrong at first, because your system has spent years learning the opposite. The mind will understand before the body does. You'll know intellectually that you're safe, but your heart will still race, your chest will still tighten, you'll still want to run. That's okay. That's not failure. That's evidence of how deeply this was learned. Healing happens in repetition, in the small moments where you let someone help you and nothing bad happens, where you say no and the relationship doesn't end, where you cry in front of someone and they don't look away. Slowly, the nervous system begins to update, to recognize that this person is not that person, that this moment is not that moment, that you are no longer the child who had to be small to survive. You are allowed to take up space now, to want things, to be inconvenient, to need. And the people who are meant for you won't be scared away by that. They'll meet you there. Safety is no longer something you perform to earn love. It's something you're allowed to feel, not because you've done everything right, not because you've been good enough, but because you exist, and that has always been enough. It is finally safe to exhale.